mic on? It's upside down.
This is upside down.
Yeah.
Well, it's twisted on it. Yeah.
Hello everybody, welcome back to our first edition of 2018 Visual Geeks podcast.
Yes.
We're back here and we're very excited today to be back at it. My name is Mike Thomas.
And I am Jeff Babineau. And with us today, we have...
Chris Sharpley.
Woo! Our favorite Chris. He's here. This is great. And what do you do, Chris?
I teach a 2-year diploma at Holland College in video game art and animation.
Mind's blown.
So, does that mean that you play video games all the time?
Not all the time, not very much of the time, but I do occasionally.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this may mislead people a little bit.
Yes.
To have this mini arcade awesome thing in front of us. But yeah, I think this has a separate purpose. But yeah, well, welcome.
Yes, thank you for doing this because I think you guys might have been a little scared to come and talk with us.
Maybe, yeah, a little bit busy.
Yeah.
Busy making artwork,
Busy.
animations, things like that.
Yes. Busy working. So that's good. Yes.
Well, welcome back. This is it, 2018, right?
How was your holiday?
It was really great. A little bit sick through a chunk of it, but it was a great holiday.
Yes. I have to say, I went home to Nova Scotia and I was not sick.
Good.
And I was not, I ate like 3 different Christmas dinners.
That's nice.
3 different Christmas dinners. And didn't gain a pound.
Wow. I found a lot of pounds over the break, it seems.
Nice.
Over the school year.
Yeah. How was your Christmas?
Reasonable, yeah.
Reasonable.
I also didn't get sick.
Good.
I ate lots of food, probably put on the pounds, didn't actually check. Haven't weighed myself, just assume I did. Lots of chocolate.
Yes, but you're really tall, so
Yeah,
you know,
suck it in.
yeah.
Yeah. The advantage we have.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. It's, as we were saying, great to be back. This is the Holland College Visual Arts Department podcast.
Which
And-
everything visual arts.
Yeah, we've gone through a few. We've had April Condon from graphic design, JS from photography. We had Gwyneth from fundamental arts, and now saving the best for last. Why not? We've got the video game art and animation people here. For
Yeah.
Chris. Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about the program. What do
Okay.
you do?
Well,
And it has to be interesting.
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 Okay, I'll do my
Yes.
best. I'll do my
Yeah.
best. So it's been running since 2008.
Nice.
It's a 2-year diploma, same as photography, same as graphic design. And it prepares our graduates for a career working as an artist or an animator in the video game industry.
Very cool.
So here in PEI, there's a little community of developers. In the past, it's been a large collection of small developers, and then kind of coalesced into a smaller number of big developers. And recently, there's been a renewed flourishing of little indie collections of indie developers.
So when you're saying developers, you're meaning like a game studio that
Yeah.
needs animators to come in and not do the programming, but they're doing the animation on characters.
Right.
Correct?
No.
And then
Yeah, typically it's characters, but lots of things need animating.
Backgrounds.
So, yeah, explosions, interfaces, all kinds of things.
cool.
And we do actually cover interface design to some degree. Not the kind of depth that we do in graphic design, but we talk about typography and layout, color choices and things.
Oh, good.
Yeah, character development, designing environments, vehicles, architecture, thinking about characters in terms of how they present themselves as real people in a real world.
Oh, wow.
So they might have tattoos, jewelry, the way they dress, scars on their face, all of that has to link up to the storytelling element.
That
It's
is
just-
really cool.
I like how you said storytelling because, storytelling is a big part in pretty much photography and graphic arts, fundamental arts, everything like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. we teach storytelling,
Any of that visual communication.
visual communications. Yeah.
Great. So what got you into this?
Wow. I left high school, and at that point, I actually fancied myself as a photographer. Yeah.
didn't
So I
know that.
looked into studying photography, and was told that if I want to do a photography degree, I need to do a program a bit like Gwyneth's Fundamental Arts program.
Okay.
This was in England. So I went to a couple of art colleges, applied and got interviewed and so on. I ended up at a place that had a 2-year art fundamental program. It was called General Art Design. So I did that, and while I was there, I discovered computer graphics, which was at quite a basic stage by today's standards, and that took my interest. I dropped my photography career path, and wanted to pursue not video games, because I didn't really think that was a career, but digital art. But the closest I got when I applied for a degree was product design. So I've done 2 years as general art design, 4 years product design degree. Haven't become a photographer or a product designer. I've been a video game artist.
But you,
That's exciting.
and the viewers, the tens of viewers that we have out there right now, need to know that you are a technology, I won't say technology junkie, but you like technology, like, new gadgets and things like that. Because I'm the same way. Like, I love new, virtual reality stuff and things like that. If there's a new camera that comes out, or a new game console or something like that.
Yeah. What you find in the games industry is that as soon as you've become an expert in something, the technology moves on and your skills rapidly go out of date.
So being up to date on technology is a good thing.
You wouldn't have a very enjoyable career if you didn't sort of stay up to date with technology.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
We try to do that in the photography world, in our program, getting that pixel stick from you, which you beat us by about a year and a half. So that's how advanced this guy is. It's like,
we never used it though.
Yeah. Well, the pixel stick, if anybody really knows what that is, I might leave a link below. Is a device that we use in the photography department that lets you paint with light pixels, like this long stick that you can draw pictures with and everything like that. So we were really excited about ordering one, and it came up in conversation at one of our meetings, and Chris was like, "Oh yeah, I got one of those a year ago," like that. And I was like, "What?" And very, very new technology. You got it on the first round of Kickstarter, I believe.
Yep.
So luckily, you let us borrow it, for which we haven't really returned it yet.
That's cool.
So now we've got two, because we did order one, but the students love it. Thank you for that.
So you guys have some pictures of the pixel stick work on your Instagram?
Yes. Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah, they can check that out.
Our Instagram is at Holland College Photography. That's correct, right?
Yeah.
And you have Instagram.
It's a bit empty.
That's okay.
In fact, it might be entirely empty. I'm not sure.
Oh, you could get in on the ground floor of it then.
Yeah.
Just,
Well, maybe in a future podcast.
This internet thing is taken off, I hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
But go ahead.
I was going to say, we have plans to be releasing interesting, cool stuff via Instagram, YouTube, and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I've been collecting it. I just never get around to releasing it. So I've got time lapses of our students at work, cool little animations we've created, photos of us going on trips and stuff.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So in other words,
I'm
could you
not-
put could you share a little animated person that I could put right in my hand right here?
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Whoa. Wasn't expecting that. Put it away. Gone. Okay. Especially.
I don't know if that's going to work.
Yeah, if that works out, then that'll be
I'll
great.
put a poo emoji.
That's going into After Effects.
Yes.
Yes. Next week.
We'll be able to do that in Premiere Pro, no problem. Yeah. I'll just have the students do it, no problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
So now we actually have I guess the best thing to tell people is, if you want to know more information about any of the courses, especially the video game art and animation, I got that right.
Yeah.
It's a mouthful. But we have open houses all the time.
Yeah, there's one
Which-
coming up.
Coincidentally, we have one coming up on
February 3rd.
February
2018.
3rd. Yeah, February 3rd. So we'll probably get an opportunity to plug it in our next one. If you're watching this and it's gone by, don't worry. But 2018, February 3rd. You can come and check out all this stuff. You should see their room.
Oh, that's cool.
It's the most exciting room, I think, in the whole college. It's just, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I come over here and I think your room's exciting.
That's just it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yours is just cool. It's like, it's dark, but there's like lights and stuff, and there's like little heads popping up around.
That's
and,
the students.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They scare easily if you tap on the windows.
Their vision is based on movement. So they walk
Okay.
very slowly. They don't know you're there.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. But first year and second year students have their own classrooms and everything, which coincidentally, I think this is a good opportunity for us to say that if you continue watching this podcast, if you don't aren't sick of it already, in 2 weeks, next episode, we're going to go on the road.
A little bit of a tour.
We're going to be mobile, so it'll look a little bit different, maybe a little bit rougher and everything like that, but we will actually be going on an actual tour of the departments. We haven't really decided yet where we're going to go, but stay tuned.
Little field trip.
Field trip, yeah, exactly. We'll be completely mobile and visiting the different departments, giving a little bit of a tour of the college. If you are from a different province and you can't get over to PEI because the bridge is closed or something like that. Shh. That was my phone. But yeah, we next week next episode I'm excited about that because
Yeah. And that is just it. I mean, this room is fantastic for our podcast, but it's going to be neat for them to be able to go on a little walking tour to see everything
Less
that's up there. Yeah, so it'll be fantastic.
We have to do a lot of setup in this room.
Yeah,
We have to remove all of the stuff off the wall.
Oh, yeah. Fresh coat of paint every week.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
The graffiti that happens in here.
gets closer and closer every week.
Yeah, exactly. So, Christmas, New Year's resolutions. Do you have a New Year's resolution?
You know what I'm thinking of doing? Have you heard of intermittent fasting?
Yes, I have.
Some of the other instructors here, they talk about it in the lunchroom.
Yeah.
And I've been reading about it. It's got all kinds of health benefits. I'm thinking of not eating for a day or two every week.
Nice.
Yeah. Hopefully
But I
won't
thought
just-
it was yours, like, because I follow a few people on Instagram that say that you get up in the morning, you don't eat.
I think you can have something like an orange.
Yeah, you
Okay.
maybe eat something so you don't die or anything
Yeah.
like that. But you don't eat, and then you don't eat at lunchtime, and then you suffer through it. But then you eat just
You just binge the next day.
insane amount even at supper time.
Yeah.
And then your body. But I've heard contradicting things on that. It's just that your body may automatically go into a fat storing mode. And
I already do that.
I store fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfectly.
Also, I made an impulse purchase
Uh-oh.
just this weekend. 3 canoes, inflatable canoes.
Oh,
Yeah,
neat.
yeah. So
Where
my
would
kids-
you use those in PEI?
All over the place.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
But not this time of year.
Canoes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I might be paddling off into the sunset.
Nice.
I bought 2 kayaks in the middle of winter one time.
Okay.
They sat in my living room for. And we're back.
We're back, folks.
It wouldn't be a podcast without a technical
Flip it,
snafu.
Snafu.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
It happens. It happens and
It did.
happens.
Always happens. It's good though. I think we should take this opportunity now that we have our wonderful Chris here, talking about video
Our
games.
wonderful Chris.
Yeah, about the more professional side of things, to maybe talk about the more fun side of things. Who was a Nintendo kid and who was a Sega kid?
Ooh, Nintendo.
We had a Sega.
Atari.
Oh, I didn't have Atari.
I had an Atari. I even had, remember the video game E.T.? I had a copy of that. The very first game.
Oh, the one that they...
The one that basically...
There's a bunch in the desert.
Well, that's like a curse for the games industry.
Oh, wow. It was
Yeah.
like, there's documentaries on the whole, okay, why was it created? And it was created and they sold, what, so many copies of it? But
They overproduced it.
they overproduced it, right. Yeah.
Devalued the value of a game.
And the fact that you couldn't win. There was really no point to it.
Really?
Nobody could. Oh yeah, it's look it up. It's hilarious. Like E.T., the game E.T. the Extraterrestrial for Atari, like hilarious. Yeah.
What were your favorite games?
Personally, me,
Yeah.
I liked. Well, you know, if you go how far back, if you're talking Atari, like the first generation, like
Sure.
Defender, Missile Command, things like that. That's you know. But when you start going into the Nintendo, like Mario Kart, I still have Mario Kart. Just love it. Like that's one of my favorites. What about you?
Oh, I liked Altered Beast. It was one of my favorite Segas, and that, I think it just had its 30th anniversary
Altered
or something
Beast.
like that recently. It was just ugly when you look at it now, but it was fun when I was a kid. And the Street Fighter games, I like those.
Street Fighter, yeah.
Chris?
Well, I do play a lot of video games, but I don't know, they sort of different points in your life, you like different things. Don't
Sure.
you? Yeah. So I've got fond memories in the 90s of working in an environment where everybody was on a networked PC and we could all play things like Quake.
Oh, I remember
So
Quake.
I
Yeah.
put hours and hours into a game like that, but part of the enjoyment was that I was surrounded by other people playing it as well.
Yeah.
Whereas probably wouldn't be into that kind of first-person shooter today.
Mm-hmm.
Though I do like split screen with my son. Yeah. Again, it's all about the interaction with real people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then my earliest memory of a video game was I was in the Cubs and I went on a trip to we went hiking or something along the beach. And we ended up in this little seaside town that had an arcade. And I remember Battlezone. Anybody heard of Battlezone?
I don't think so.
No.
It was sort of black and white graphics, and you had to look through a periscope sort of thing. It was like
I think I might have seen that. Yeah.
And I think there was 2 joysticks, and if you pushed forward, both of them forward, you go forward, and you twist and turn. And it was just wireframe. It was like little pyramids and other tanks, and you shoot each other.
Oh, so you were controlling a tank.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
really, really basic.
Yeah.
And I remember I was too short to really be able to see into it, which just made me want to look in there even more. So I was right up on my tiptoes, looking into this little thing, and it was like I was looking into another world.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was around the time that Tron came out at the cinema.
Tron,
The original
yes,
Tron.
yes, yeah. Which
those
was
two
pretty darn
things-
good when you think of the movie making
Definitely.
back at that particular point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, if you're working in the games industry, what I tell my students is that you have to have an open mind. And a lot of people, they sort of define themselves by what they consume and also by what they choose not to consume. So they say, I'm a sports gamer, or I'm a first-person shooter, or this kind of gamer, or that kind of gamer. But if you want to earn money, you have to be open to just accepting anything. You could be working on Barbie, Lego games, violent stuff, puzzle games, all kinds of stuff.
What pays the bills? What keeps the lights on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't be fussy.
Yeah.
So what kind of person's a good fit with that in mind? Like speaking to that, like the mentality of the people who are in your program. What makes a successful student in your program?
Successful student.
Who should apply?
Who should apply? Well, the video game art and animation program has the word video game in its title, which does attract a lot of people who just like consuming video games, which is useful, it's relevant, but it's not the most important thing. Most important thing is the art and animation side.
Okay.
Yeah. So we look for people who are more than comfortable just sketching, doodling, playing around with some kind of creative art idea endlessly.
So do they need to know how to draw when they come into the program?
Yeah, we do look for that.
That's an important thing, but say if someone came in and is like, hey, I can't draw yet, but they're very creative. You see something in their portfolio which they have to put in to apply for any of these programs. You have to put a portfolio in, but sometimes you'll be able to see that person has potential
Yeah.
with a little bit of tweaking.
It's a bit like if this was a music program and somebody came to you and they couldn't play any musical instrument or sing or demonstrate any kind of musical ability, but they tell you they're desperate to become a musician, you might be a little bit skeptical and suspicious because by the time you leave high school, you should have enough time to learn how to strum, might have a few recordings, something going along like that.
Yeah.
It's the same idea with artwork. We want to see a sketchbook, see evidence that you're happy sketching every day. It doesn't have to be sketching, it could be painting or something along those lines. But the reason why we take this seriously is because once you're in the program, that's what you do every day. Mm-hmm. Once you graduate, if you get a job, that's what you do for your living. So
You got to love it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to
You
love it.
don't want to be
so.
complaining about creating artwork and coming up with ideas.
Mm-hmm. You want to be inspired
Yeah.
every day.
So shall I try and describe some of my students?
Sure.
Short,
Yeah.
tall.
Would you say they have a certain look to them?
A certain look.
Yeah.
I never see them.
Don't you?
That's
It's a bit dark in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a very few that I've ever actually gotten to meet or
We
see.
do.
so.
We have quite a lot of dyed hair.
Dyed hair. Yeah.
Like, not just to get rid of a bit of grey. I'm talking pink, blue, green,
That's
all the
neat.
colours of the rainbow, often on the same person.
So, yeah.
Yeah, tattoos, piercings, they kind of look a little bit unconventional.
Expressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Artistic,
Expressive.
creative.
Creative.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Creative people are cool.
Yeah. It's about 50-50 male and female, even
Excellent.
though I don't know why, it's a bit of an old-fashioned thing that gaming is just for boys. If you look at surveys and stuff, it's 50-50. The publishers and the producers of games, they aim everybody, and it's 50-50 in the classroom pretty much.
Excellent.
So anybody can be creative.
Yep, young and old.
Young and old.
Yeah, our oldest student, I think, was about 53.
Oh, nice.
Enrolled.
Nice.
Yep.
So a good background in computer knowledge is
It helps.
helpful. Yeah.
Helps, but
You don't want someone come in that can draw really, really well but doesn't know what a mouse is.
well, it's almost impossible to find somebody who doesn't know what a mouse is.
Oh well.
Yeah, no, it's not a deal breaker. The technology part of it, people might assume that you need to know a bit about Photoshop or animation or something. We don't assume that because it's not really something that's taught in high schools. So we do start with very basic technical knowledge, but people pick it up and
Okay.
yeah.
Programs that you use. You said you used Maya,
Yep,
some Photoshop.
loads of Photoshop. Probably more Photoshop than Maya.
Oh, okay.
Photoshop's probably the #1 package because you can use it just to create 2D artwork, and if you're creating 3D artwork, you need to create 2D texture maps to go onto the 3D surfaces.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 3D artwork is always
there's a
in
2D
tandem.
element
Yeah.
to that, like making paper dolls. Like you need a flat
Yeah.
thing with the clothing and the texture
Yeah.
to be able to put onto the wireframe.
If we were making this wall, the colour map would be more or less white, but you would see evidence of little bricks and things. Then you'd need a bump map or a normal map, which makes it look bumpy. And you'd also control how shiny it is. That's fairly uniformly shiny, but other surfaces have variations.
Good lighting.
Yeah, you have transparency on things like windows, reflectivity, ambient maps for light sources. All of those are 2D images that go onto one 3D object, and they all come out of Photoshop, or tend to.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
We use the whole Adobe suite. So today we were using After Effects. We use CC Animate, used to be called Flash. We use things like Bridge and Media Encoder just to handle the files. We have the full suite installed, so we have things like Illustrator, but it doesn't have that much use in the industry, so we don't spend too much time on that.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, your program, you're using Illustrator and
Photoshop and InDesign.
Photoshop, InDesign, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're using Lightroom, Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, Adobe Audition. What am I forgetting? Bridge. We're not really touching on After Effects this year, but in years to come, I guess we may be doing that. So all in the improvement of the course.
Yeah, well, we talked a little bit about the kind of people who are there, so that's really neat. I like hearing that, and then some people will identify.
It's a
with that.
really cool program because when I first came to the college, I didn't know that they had that program, and we got a tour around the department and went down and saw it, and we actually were able to sit in, and you gave us a little demonstration, and I was blown away at, number one, how cool your classroom is, but number two, by how much your students get work from the course. Like how many success stories that you had to show that your students were coming out and working for big names and making money right out of college, which was fantastic because,
That's what it's all about.
that's what Holland College tries to do.
Yeah.
So I know that's our goal as well, and like all the departments to come out and have an actual career. So that was very inspiring that you said that. So I'm like, I want to be more like Chris. I want to do that.
Yeah.
Get students jobs.
Well, that's neat.
Yeah.
Should I tell you some of the career paths we've had?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, if you're going to stay on PEI, there are currently about 5 or maybe 6 studios. One of them is Electronic Arts. I'm not sure the total number of our graduates have gone there, but I'd say it's around 10 to 12 maybe. And they used to do the Simpsons game for touchscreen devices for many years. They farmed that game off to a different EA studio recently, and now they're working on Star Wars Galaxies. Is that what it's called? Yeah.
Or is it Battlefront?
No, it's
Galaxy?
No.
Oh.
yeah,
It's another touchscreen.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Galaxy
Yeah.
is console and stuff, but this is a new thing.
Yeah,
Nice.
so franchises like The Simpsons or Star Wars and companies like EA, you tend to associate with big cities.
Yeah,
Maybe you assume it comes out of the States, and a lot of the decisions are made down there, but then it's cost effective to have your development team in a place like Charlottetown, low overheads, government subsidies, cheap exchange rates.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so there are,
And EA has a great coffee shop right next to them.
yeah.
The Kettle Black.
Have you been in the studio?
I've never been in the studio, but I'm really hoping to go and visit them sometime.
Nice
Yeah.
facilities. Then there's a company that I actually came to Charlottetown to work for called Other Ocean. They're headquartered in San Francisco. They have studios in Newfoundland and in, obviously, the headquarters. And they had a testing place here and a development studio. The development studio merged with EA. Then a few years went by where they weren't allowed to compete and operate in the same space. I think that period is now expired, so they're back as game developers again. They're doing virtual reality. That's their specialty, is virtual reality. And they're doing a Rick and Morty game. They're doing their own tabletop virtual board game platform.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Like AR? Like augmented reality stuff?
What I saw was 100% virtual reality.
Okay.
But
So with the thing with you've got I don't know what that gaming system is called, where you've got the little hook things and the headset. Yeah.
yeah,
I
they're
really,
cross-platform. They apparently what they create would work on any of those devices.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then there's smaller studios. Some of them just 1 or 2 people, but often they'll pop up in the news because they apply for funding and subsidies and so on, and then suddenly they expand and they can hire people, and hopefully they're all success stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, lots of work on Charlottetown or in PEI,
Yeah.
but lots of work in the maritime provinces too.
Yeah. So if you go to Halifax, 4 hours drive, there's a big TV and film animation industry down there. And I think part of the reason for that is because that province subsidises that industry, whereas those subsidies aren't available here. And so a lot of our recent graduates, even though they're trained in video game art and animation, their career is now in TV animation.
Oh, that's exciting.
And yeah, they're working on kids' TV, things like Inspector Gadget. I can't remember them all now.
Oh, there's a
Powerpuff Girls, maybe.
Oh, that's done in
Teen Titans.
Wow.
Yeah, it's the same idea that the franchise is owned by a big Warner Brothers or somebody in the States.
but they farm out to a smaller
it's cost effective to get it done around here.
That's great.
Yeah.
We both just went at the same time.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
And on this has been running a slideshow through the entire program, am I right? Or has this been on?
Yeah, it's on and it's running, and I might have some close-ups of it, but depends
cool.
on. Yeah. And this is kind of some of the artwork that is, it blows my mind that this is stuff that's created just from.
And it's all student work, right?
It's all student work.
Yep.
Yeah. This comes from someone's brain. Like, it's the kind of the sky's the limits. Like, there's everything from product. I saw some it looked like interior design type things like that, and everything from fantasy to realism, and there's some sketch work there and stuff.
Yeah, we did quite a bit of traditional artwork. So right throughout the 2-year program, we have a course every semester where you just work with traditional materials. So we have light drawing classes, watercolor painting.
Just noticed the battery on that is getting lower. It's been
10%.
running the whole time. So, but that's probably telling us that also that we don't want to run too long on this. But we're very pleased to have you come and talk to our tens of viewers so far, and we appreciate it. If you, our viewers, are wanting to know more information, there is links below, and there is links to I think most of the information, like our Facebook page and our Instagram. And we'll encourage you to maybe post more to your Instagram. And also subscribe to this, I want to do the whole, like the button, subscribe down here. You'll just get a notification the next time that we produce one of these. And maybe share with your friends. You don't have to. We're just asking. We'll just love you forever.
Just write it off as a New Year's resolution.
Yeah, New Year's resolution.
It's done.
Hit more subscribe buttons.
Yeah.
And so that being said, I think we could wrap this one up. So I'm Jeff Babineau.
I'm Mike Thomas.
And
I'm Chris Sharpley.
Yeah. And we're Visual Geeks. See you next time.
See you.